Well, for the past 3 decades, my next guest has been heavily involved with the Bathurst Harness Racing Club as a marketing coordinator. He MCs many of their functions, also does a wonderful job with their presentations. The gentleman in question, Chris Gray. Well, Chris, great to catch up with you here at Club Menangle.
Indeed, good to see you, Michael, as well.
As I mentioned, 30 odd years with the Bathurst Harness Racing Club. It's been a club that you've seen go from having rough times now to thriving.
Well, it's certainly been an evolution. The carnival's always been the highlight for me. That's what I mostly get involved with. But to see them say farewell to the showground, we had a wonderful time in doing that and all the memories that were there, and then going to their brand new home. And what a facility it is. It's really first class. And the carnival continues to draw the best of the young horses from all around the country.
Before we go on about your career and further with Bathurst, we've got to, on a sad note, and certainly as far as Harness Racing Club is concerned, both here at Club Menangle and the Bathurst Club, the passing of Tony Turnbull has certainly taken the breath out of the whole industry.
Well, indeed it has. He was 91 and he certainly lived a full life, and his success is really second to none. You know, to win national premierships from Bathurst is extraordinary. The contribution he made to the industry, not just as a trainer and a driver, but also with his family and the success that they've had. But all in all, he was just a gentleman. I was lucky enough to get to know Tony really well for when he was the honoree at Bathurst and spent a bit of time with him. And then in the last 5 or 6 years, I'd go out and have a cup of tea with him and eat a great big cake and talk about life and stuff. So it's just a memory that'll stay with me forever, and his contribution is just extraordinary.
Chris, moving forward, particularly for the Bathurst Club, it's going to be strange not having Tony Turnbull there.
It is. I think there should be an empty chair somewhere set up where people can just reflect on Tony's contribution. But what you do, Michael, is you look at Steve, and then you look at Jenny, and you look at Amanda, and you look at Mitch, and you look at Nathan, and you look at Josh, and you look at all the others, and Wendy's 2 kids, Emma and Jason, and you just see him. You see elements of him, the dogged will to win and the commitment to hard work and the integrity that they bring to the game. I think his spirit will always be there, but yeah, his presence will certainly be missed.
Well, I don't know about an empty chair, Chris. I think more in line of a statue would be nice.
Well, wouldn't it be lovely? I think that's certainly something that the club is talking about.
Well, that's great news. Well, we find you here at Club Menangle. Leaving Bathurst, what's the go?
Well, was working with the club, with Harness Racing New South Wales today, Michael, on a forum that they had, bringing breeders and owners together just to get to know a little bit more about the issues that both sides of the debate or the discussion had to raise with each other. And we had a very constructive full day. They worked hard, the people who came along. They gave of their time to work out ways that they can improve the industry. And a credit to everyone involved, because their contribution was high energy. It was draining. We really worked them hard, but I think we'll get a lot of good ideas out of it going forward.
That's the one thing, Chris. We need to be going forward as one.
Indeed, and the beauty of today, Michael, is there was mixtures of both the breeders and also owners who had their own agendas or their own, I suppose, points they wanted to make, but they listened hard to what the points of the other people were. And that's, if you're not talking, you're going nowhere. But if you're talking, you can get an idea of how to go forward, and that's what I think we'll get out of today.
I think with the Bathurst Harness Racing Club, Chris, on numerous occasions have had very strong leadership. Currently, Danny Dwyer, and going back a few years when we both had a little bit more hair and a few numbers off our ages, Lenny Graff, what a wonderful contributor to Bathurst Harness Racing he was.
Well, Lenny was the one, the gold crown was growing, and under Lenny it just was extraordinary in what he achieved and his contribution. But then you had Robert Hansel working there with him. Pete Smith, who's still back in the race calling game, I think, was also another contributor there. And there's been a lot of people along the way, but Danny Dwyer, I just got another level. Danny's been there for 14 years now, and the effort and the energy and the skill he brings to that, and the dedication, is one of the main things that sets that club apart. He's an exceptional administrator, and the club knows it, and which is great.
Has the Bathurst Gold Crown Carnival exceeded your expectations?
Like all sport these days, Michael, it struggles sometimes to get people along, but the spirit's still there, and you still get people travelling to get there. But I'd like to bring an even more exciting element of carnival to it and make it even more, because carnivals in our sport these days, there's not a lot of them around. I think it's the only country race carnival that's around in harness racing across Australia, and we want to try and build that up and make that happen some more.
And the move from that small track that we used to get, and you could absolutely be amazed now at the fact that horses went around on those tracks to what they go around now, but the birth of the Bathurst Wagga tracks along with Club Menangle It's great to see the industry flourishing in that regard.
Well, they're providing the best racing surface to allow the best horses to win the races, and that can only be good for the sport. You know, you talk about that old track. I remember in the early days, we didn't make 2-year-olds have to have a run. And so I can still remember Robert Hansel and I and Lenny Graff would stand in that presentation area, and we'd turn away as the horses went into the first corner and close our eyes and really hope they got around safe. And for the most part, they did. But the new track is fabulous. And as I said, best horse, best trainer, and the best track is providing exceptional opportunities.
Well, Chris, it's great to catch up with you. As I said, you've been a wonderful contributor to the Bathurst Harness Racing Club for many years. You're a wonderful MC, and those presentations are always outstanding.
Always knew you were a good judge, Michael.